What's going on, guys? Today I want to talk to you about some things regarding energy. You know, there's a lot of people who go through their days and, 2 o'clock rolls around and they feel like they can barely stay awake. They feel like they don't have enough energy to get everything done. They're going through their entire lives tired. And when you're tired, you're not present. And when you're not present, you're not living your life to the utmost of quality. And I know nobody wants to actually live like that. You don't want to live like that. I don't want to live like that. So what we want to do is we want to find some solutions, some things that you can do, some things you can change in your day to actually help promote energy, to ensure that you're getting good quality sleep at night, and to ensure that you're most productive during the days you're on your feet, the days when you're on your feet and you're actually trying to get things done. So it starts with your sleep. And one of the things that I found when with my sleep quality is that when I'm preparing to go to bed, there's certain things that I do or don't do that will affect the quality of my sleep. And this is true regardless of whether or not I actually get to sleep or not. If I could sleep, there's certain times where I could sleep 8 hours and not feel good when I wake up in the morning. And I know that's true of a lot of people. So the first thing is this, and a lot of you here who watch this channel are computer guys and girls, and you stare at the computer screen and the TV screen a lot. Well, one of the things that happens, and I know that this is a pretty popular concept, but one of the things that happens when you stare at a screen, regardless of whether it's a phone screen or a computer screen or a TV screen, is there's a lot of blue light that comes out of that screen, and it penetrates your eyes and it goes into your brain. And when that blue light penetrates your brain, what can happen is it can throw off your circadian rhythm, and it can make your brain still think that it's daylight out. And so for those of you who are still on your phone, within an hour before you're going to sleep, that can seriously interrupt your sleep cycle, and it can seriously inhibit the quality of your sleep. So one of the things I try to do is to put my phone down, to turn off the TV and turn off the computer at least 2 hours before I go to bed. I know that's hard for a lot of people. And if you can't do that, what you want to do is you want to go on Amazon. I think you can get them for like $8. They have these blue light blocking sunglasses that you can put on while you're at home. They look kind of doofy. I see some people walking around like they're fashionable. I don't think they're fashionable, but they do the job. And you put those on a couple hours before you go to sleep, and you'll prevent that blue light from actually penetrating your eyes. The other thing you really need to pay attention to is whether or not you've eaten close to going to bed. Now, I don't necessarily think that this has a huge effect on fat loss. Some people say it does, some people say it doesn't, but it does have an effect on your circadian rhythm, and it does have an effect on the hormones that you're producing. For instance, if you're producing insulin while you're trying to get to bed, you're not going to be able to produce growth hormone optimally. And that's a pretty big factor in your ability to sleep and recover while you're sleeping. So I try to keep myself from eating at least 2 hours prior to bed. I try, every day I try to eat within specific windows of time, because I do intermittent fasting. So I'm only eating like 8 to 12 hours a day. I'm not eating outside of that window. But I think it's really important, regardless of whether you're following fasting or not, to not eat too close to bedtime, because it can inhibit certain hormones from being produced that will allow you to get a good quality sleep. The other thing is looking around your room. The room that you sleep in, there's a few factors there. One, you want to make sure the temperature is actually a little bit cold. You don't want it to be too warm in your room. You want it to be cold enough that you're just going to be comfortable underneath your covers. You need to be under the covers in order to be warm. And again, that's because if the temperature is too high, that can also inhibit certain hormones, and it could just be really uncomfortable. So I try to keep my room that I sleep in very, very cold, partially because of that, and partially because I'm a sweat hog. I sweat disgusting when I sleep sometimes if the room is not cold enough, and I don't want to sweat my girlfriend out of the bed. Another thing I try to do is make sure that the room is very black, but very dark. But the problem for me is that I have a girlfriend who likes to read prior to bed, and I can't just be like, babe, turn off the light. So one thing that I invested in, it's only I think it's like $20. It's a mask. Now you can do this with a you know, I used to wrap a t-shirt around my head and tie it. But the reason why I like this mask is because it's got these little styrofoam cups or foam cups underneath. And so when you're wearing it, it actually feels like you're in a dark room because you can open and close your eyes. And you know, your eyeballs aren't going to rub up against the fabric. You're not going to have your eyelashes rubbing up against anything, and that could keep you up too. So that's called the Mindfold, and I think you can find that online. I'm not endorsed by this product. I just think it's a good product. I actually picked it up in Philadelphia last year when I was out there, but I think you can get it online. The other thing is, you know, there's certain supplements that can help you to get a good night's rest. And magnesium, I take about 400 to 500 milligrams of magnesium prior to bed. Some people like melatonin. I don't like melatonin because it makes me feel a little bit too groggy in the morning. Now, other factors that go into your energy levels. A really big factor that a lot of people don't pay attention to is your digestion. If you've eaten a meal that is not, you're having a really hard time digesting, that's going to steal a lot of energy from your body. So a really important factor there is making sure the foods that you eat are digestible. And I've talked about this before at length, but anything that you cannot digest is going to cause damage to the intestinal tract, and anything that causes damage to the intestinal tract is going to give rise to inflammation throughout your body, because your digestive tract also contains your immune system, and it's also connected to the brain via the vagal nerve. So if you've got inflammation in your gut, that can lead to a whole host of things, including brain fog, including you know, lack of cognitive clarity. And if you're not taking care of your gut, that could lead to a lack of energy. So make sure that you're eating probiotic and prebiotic foods. I sound like a broken record on this. You know, make sure you're getting things like dandelions and certain greens in your diet to get the prebiotics in there. Make sure you're eating fermented foods, kombucha, raw sauerkraut, kimchi, including things like that in your diet to ensure optimal digestion, and making sure that you're taking care of your gut microbiome. If you're eating nuts, make sure they're soaked, and you know, avoid foods that you have intolerances for. If you're gluten intolerant, try to avoid gluten. If you know you're dairy intolerant, then try to avoid dairy. If you feel like you're intolerant to something, and it causes gastric bloating or something like that, stay away from it. It will steal your energy throughout the day, and it'll probably steal your energy for the next few days. Another thing is sugar. If you're eating a lot of refined sugar, that is going to cause spikes up and down your insulin levels, and rapid spikes up and down your insulin levels. And that when insulin comes out, guess what happens? It lowers that blood sugar. So that can steal some what's it called, energy that's supposed to go to the brain. And that's one reason why I like ketosis and intermittent fasting, because fueling myself with ketones, I don't have those rises and falls in blood sugar that really affect my energy levels. So I have a steady feeling of energy throughout the day when I'm in ketosis, and especially when I'm fasting, because that tends to give my digestive system a rest, and I'm not experiencing a lot of that inflammation that I was experiencing back when I was eating 8 to 10 meals a day as a bodybuilder. And you know, I remember back then having so much brain fog, being so tired, and being so moody when I hadn't had a meal in a couple of hours. You know, I remember I would barely be able to wait the 2 hours to try to eat, because I'd be so low on energy, and I'd be so hungry, and I'd be so hangry. But now I can go longer periods without eating. I feel good, I feel more energetic, and I feel more comfortable. Another thing is staying hydrated. You really want to make sure that you're staying hydrated, particularly if you're active. You want to be drinking at least half your body weight in fluid ounces plus 10 ounces. If you're doing workouts and you're sweating throughout the day, you want to be able to you want to make sure that you're staying on top of your hydration levels, making sure that you're getting enough minerals in your diet. Particularly if you are following a ketogenic diet, you want to make sure that your mineral profile is good. Getting things like Himalayan pink salt onto your meals, that is something that has helped me extensively with energy and making sure that I feel good throughout the day. Making sure that you don't have any nutritional deficiencies. And this is a big one. And for a lot of you, it's going to require a blood test, and it's going to require you looking at things that you are deficient in. Making sure that you're getting enough vitamin D, making sure that if you're a man, making sure that your zinc is optimized, making sure that your hormonal levels are not being affected by any micronutritional deficiencies. Making sure that you're getting out in the sun. I have a good friend, Tony Flowreel. He goes out in the sun as much as possible. A lot of times he'll go out to the nude beach and he'll sun himself naked. I don't do that, but it works for him, and he said it's been like a day and night experience. Has added so much energy to his life. And that's about it. Oh, and making sure that you're eating enough calories. If you're either eating too many calories or you're not eating enough calories, that can seriously put a dent into your energy. So make sure you're staying on top of all aspects of your nutrition and your living. Now, this is a longer video than I really wanted to do, but these are some things that you can incorporate in your life to get more energy. Like I said, I'm a big advocate for the ketogenic diet, and ketosis is not the only way to get more energy in your life. But once you're adapted into ketosis, you get a much steadier supply of energy from ketones, and you don't have to fuel yourself with carbs all the time. And that's just one aspect. You can be perfectly fine on a high carbohydrate diet too. But if you're interested in learning more about ketosis, my friend Matt and I from Blueprint Nutrition, we're giving a free webinar this Thursday, and we're going to be giving webinars every week, so pay attention. This Thursday at 9 a.m. we'll also be putting up recorded webinars, and I'll share with you the last recorded webinar we did. I just posted here on this YouTube channel, but I'll put a link below where you can get to that, and you can learn more about ketosis if you want to. So that's all I got for today, guys. If you have any questions for me, hit me up at info@warriorsoulapparel.com. Check out our website, warriorsoulagoge.com. That's AGOGE. I'll put a link for that below too if you want more awesome content, more videos, and to listen to the Warrior Soul podcast, where we talk to some of the best minds in the world on nutrition, brain growth, and health. Talk to you soon.